psychology of overtrading. To understand the psychology of overtrading, we need to understand the mind and why it makes the decisions that it makes. We know from research that the brain responds to certain hormones being released. One of these such hormones is called dopamine, which is the feel-good hormone. This hormone is released when the body is stimulated in a positive way. Maybe it's through sex, a good joke, or even yummy food. Dopamine always follows a wave. Just like gravity, what goes up must come down. So you find that your dopamine continues to rise up until the point where you actually begin to do the thing that excites you. Once you begin this act, this is the peak of that wave. And once it begins to drop, the cycle then starts over and you begin the loop. What is very interesting is you think you'd feel good as soon as you get this hit of dopamine, but you'll be sadly mistaken. Because dopamine loves novelty or anything new. The brain now goes out and searches for that feeling yet again and again and again, constantly seeking that state of grandeur. It wants more, and this is where addiction begins, right? It can get out of control very, very quickly. What is even more interesting is you'd find that the more you seek out this act to release this dopamine, you find like you respond to it lesser and lesser each new time. This is why I'm saying to you that trading is a drug. When you win a trade, the brain responds to you by releasing dopamine, making you feel good. But as soon as the downturn begins, you now go in search of a new trade to release that dopamine again and again. I want you to think about a drug addict. They say that some drugs are so addictive that one hit can make you addicted. And that is enough to make you lose complete control. This is why so many traders begin trading for years, are not successful, and remain trading for years. It is because they are addicted. And before you know it, you've lost all of your life savings, everything that you've done, a lot of time, and you're asking friends and family for money so that you can invest in this new strategy that you think is going to propel you into profit. Let me assure you, you won't. There's a reason why drug addicts go into rehab. This is so that they can be rehabilitated, so that they can go back out into the world and function among normal human beings in a manner that is meaningful to society. The same goes for trading. If you are addicted to trading, you need to be rehabilitated so that you can function among things like that and not have to worry about doing things like that. If you don't get here under control, winning one trade will never be enough. I'm sure many people listening to this can attest to what I'm saying. Even if you win a trade and you hit your daily goal, you still want to go back and get more. It is because you are a drug addict. So what I do is I rehabilitate students to pull them away from addiction. What is important about the rehabilitation process is you first need to acknowledge the fact that you need to be rehabilitated. Acknowledgement is the first step to any solution. Conversely, if you don't believe that you have a problem, you'll never be able to solve it. No strategy in the world is going to save you from yourself. If you can come to understand yourself, you will slowly realize that it is a lot easier to make changes. I know this because I had overtrading issues years ago. And only when I admitted and acknowledged them to myself, I was able to make meaningful changes and stop that. And this is why all good traders tell you it's more in the mind than anything else. I hope that you learned something from this very, very short video, but I hope that you grab something, you learn something. I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe and like for more.